All right, let's just jump right into this. Have you ever felt like your own brain is fighting you? Like every step of the way when you try to do something important? Well, in this explainer, we're going to get into the neuroscience of why discipline feels so impossible sometimes. And, more importantly, how you can actually rewire your brain to not just tolerate hard work, but to actually start enjoying it.
It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? You sit down, you're ready to work, and almost immediately there's this little voice in your head that's already looking for an escape hatch, a distraction, something, anything easier. You are definitely not alone in this. This is a battle being fought inside millions of our heads, and it's quietly wrecking our ability to focus.
And here's the most important thing you need to understand right up front. This is not a moral failing. You're not lazy. The source material for this says it perfectly. Your brain isn't broken. It's being hacked. Our modern world has literally been engineered to hijack our brain's most ancient, primitive wiring.
So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this hack actually works. It all comes down to a really simple, fundamental rule that our brains live by. Think about it like this. Your brain is basically a super lazy but super efficient economist. It's constantly running a cost-benefit analysis on everything, asking, how can I get the biggest possible reward for the least amount of energy? It's a survival instinct, right? Conserve energy at all costs. Anything that promises a big prize for little to no work gets an immediate green light.
And this is where it all goes off the rails. Our brains evolved for a world of high effort and uncertain rewards. Like spending all day hunting and maybe, just maybe, catching dinner. But today, we live in a world of low effort and guaranteed pleasure. Every notification, every swipe, every delivery app is precision engineered to give us an instant jolt of reward. Our ancient system just wasn't built for this. It's completely overloaded.
Okay, so let's look at the science of what's going on under the hood here. To really understand this hack, we need to talk about the main chemical messenger at the heart of it all. And that is dopamine. Now, this is a huge one. So many people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's not. It's the wanting chemical. It's the chemical of anticipation. It's what drives you to seek the reward. It spikes before you get the thing, motivating you to go get it. It's the reason you keep scrolling. The next video might be the funny one. That might is what floods your brain with dopamine and keeps you hooked on the chase. But here's the catch, the really dark side of all this. When your brain is constantly bombarded with these easy, high dopamine hits, it does what any smart system would do. It adapts. It starts to protect itself through a process called downregulation. It literally starts removing dopamine receptors to turn down the volume. And the result? Normal, healthy activities like reading a book or going for a hike, they just don't do it for you anymore. They feel boring.
In essence, you've built up a tolerance. This is the exact same biological mechanism as drug addiction. So I'll say it again. You're not undisciplined. Your brain's reward system is just desensitized. It now needs bigger and bigger hits of stimulation just to feel okay, just to feel normal. Okay, so that's the problem. And it sounds pretty bad, right? But the good news? The great news, actually, is that our brains are incredibly flexible. They can be rewired. So that brings us to the solution. We have to reset the baseline.
This is what people often call a dopamine detox. Now, the goal isn't to get rid of dopamine. That's impossible. You need it to live. The goal is to starve your brain of all that cheap, artificial, high-stimulation junk for a while. This gives your dopamine receptors a chance to recover, to grow back, to become more sensitive again, so that normal, everyday things can start to feel good again.
Now, I have to be really upfront with you about this part. The first few days of this, they're probably going to feel awful. You'll likely feel restless, bored out of your mind, maybe even a little irritable. Listen, that is not a sign of weakness. That is a sign of withdrawal. That feeling of discomfort is your brain rewiring itself in real time. It means it's working. What this whole detox process really does is it forces you to shift from chasing pleasure to building satisfaction. And these two things are not the same. Pleasure is quick, it comes from outside of you, it fades fast, and it often leaves you feeling kind of empty. But satisfaction? That's delayed. It's internal. You earn it, and it creates a deep, lasting sense of fulfillment. Our world is selling us pleasure, but what our souls are actually craving is satisfaction.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get super practical. How do you actually do this? Here is a simple, actionable plan you can start today.
Okay, step one, you've got to know your enemy. What are your personal traps? We're talking about the things that give you the biggest jolt for the least effort. For a lot of us, it's going to be our phones, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, but it could also be sugary snacks, mindless online shopping, gaming. You know what your vices are. Be honest with yourself.
The method itself is actually really simple. 3 steps. First, like we just said, identify your traps. Second, eliminate them completely for a set amount of time. A week is a fantastic place to start. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, you have to replace them with something else.
You cannot just leave a vacuum. Your brain hates that. You have to fill that empty space with activities that offer those slower, more meaningful rewards. Read an actual physical book. Go for a long walk and leave your phone at home. Cook a meal from scratch. And listen, at first, these things are going to feel boring. Of course they will. But as you stick with it, you'll feel your brain start to change. It'll start to anticipate the real satisfaction these things bring.
So what happens when you push through that initial discomfort? When you complete the reset? What does life actually look and feel like on the other side?
Honestly, the benefits are profound. Your focus comes back, and I mean really comes back. You'll find you have more mental energy, more clarity, and the most amazing part? You'll start to feel a genuine excitement for hard things, for challenges. It's about getting your actions to finally line up with who you say you want to be.
And this right here, this is the ultimate goal. Over time, as you keep practicing this, your entire default setting shifts. Discipline stops feeling like this constant, exhausting war against yourself, and it just starts to feel like how you operate. It becomes your natural state of being.
But, and this is a big but, this isn't a magic pill. It's not a one-and-done fix. Your brain will always have that temptation to go back to the easy path. So the long-term key is to become an architect of your environment. You have to set up your life to make the good choices easy and the bad choices hard. Put friction between you and your distractions.
So, I want to leave you with a direct challenge. Don't just nod along to this and then go back to scrolling. Make a decision right now. What is the one thing, the single biggest source of cheap, empty dopamine in your life that you will commit to removing for the next 7 days? The whole journey of rewiring your brain starts with that one simple choice.